remember that. It wasn't long after I started at Mojo, about 4 or 5 years ago. But I just remember I'm like, what groups should I attend? Where should I network? It's like, definitely the BWI Business Partnership. Number one, hands down. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And then that's how it started for me.
We currently have 2 local development council grants, which for the audience, that means when Maryland passed the slots rule here to allow slot machines, that each casino needs to provide a certain percentage of that revenue back to that local county or city. And then it has to be given to programs within a 3-mile radius of that said casino.
Okay.
So the local development council is the live casino and hotel council for the most part, just to kind of explain all that. So one of those programs is our County Connector Shuttle. And last year we serviced close to 90,000 passengers.
Wow.
And so that was meant to help the workforce get to the key job centers at BWI Marshall Airport, at the Arundel Mills Live Casino and hotel stops with the MARC train at BWI. We added Matheson Way for the Amazon facility to help workers get to that facility as well, because there's about 1,000 workers at that location.
Is this a free shuttle? Or
It is free.
Okay.
It is free.
Nice.
So it is underwritten by the grant. So we manage that.
Just to put things in perspective, when you talk about the partnership, it's
I thought you had an army of 100 people because it runs like that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Diligent Leader, which is Flight Path to Success. I'm your host, Kaylee Jakovics, and with me I have
Alex Ficari.
And I also have our guests joining us today, which are Gina Stewart, who is the president of the BWI Business Partnership, as well as Ronny Nadiv, who is the vice president operations. Ronny and Gina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
it's great to have you guys on.
Yeah, I mean, we're long members of the partnership, and I'm part of the committee for the young professionals group. So it's super exciting.
And an award-winning young professional as well.
Yes,
Just wanted to share that for the audience.
Okay. Well, I also heard that somebody else has an award. Is that true? Do we want to share?
So this, the Baltimore Business Journal just announced the 2024 CEO of the Year the top 10 honorees. And I'm very happy to announce that Gina Stewart, our president, is among the top 10.
Very nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
BWI
awesome.
Business Partnership on the map, I'm telling you.
We have.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we have two leaders that have joined us today. So happy again to have you. And I guess let's just start. I want the viewers to get to kind of know you a little bit and tell us about yourselves, where you're from, family, things you like to do for fun.
Sure. Well, let's see. So it was funny as we were driving here, I was telling Ronny, where is this studio, And I'm like, because there's my mother-in-law's house, and then my brother and sister-in-law live back over here. So very familiar territory where I am here with family on my husband's side. I have a son who lives in Florida, and actually just on, Thursday night became a great-grandmother.
Congratulations.
And he's perfect, so that's pretty cool.
What's his name?
His name is Eli Stone.
Oh,
nice, strong name. I like that.
Yeah,
well, congratulations.
So he's just absolutely perfect, so very excited for that.
That's awesome.
Ronny.
What about you, Ronny?
So I've been in Maryland almost 4 decades.
Okay.
And
Wow.
became my home. I've been with the partnership almost 4 years coming up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I live in the city. I'm a city rat. I love city life. Baltimore City, that is. And it became my home. So
that's great.
All right.
Great.
And I guess tell us how you got involved with the partnership. How long have you? Well, you mentioned how long you were there, but your career path?
Well, since I already started, so I'm going to say.
Yeah. Keep going.
I've met Gina while I was at Howard County Chamber, and Gina was working for Maryland Commerce. Howard County was a territory.
Okay.
And the two of us hit it off very quickly and became a good collaborator because that's what we were supposed to do. And long story short, I got a text from Gina because we worked a lot closely when she became the president of the partnership, and she mentioned that my predecessor was about to leave. If I know anyone, and I said, let me send me the job description. Let me have a look, and I'll see if I know someone. Honestly, that's how it was. As I was reading the job description, I'm like, oh, I've done this. I can do this. I can totally do that. So I sent her a text, can we chat? And that's how it started. And I went through the whole process.
That's awesome.
So my hint worked.
That's great. That's great.
But
what about you?
For me, I actually have been a member of the BWI Business Partnership since very early on in my career. So probably, I'm trying to think how old my son is. That's how I always base my things on. So probably close to 30 years I've been a member of the partnership, and various things, served on the board more than once. Started a sponsorship program, helped with the golf outing back in the day. Just membership chair, just was very involved in wherever I went with my career, right? With the job. I talked to the boss and said, hey, this is a group we have to be involved in. Just trust me on that.
Yeah.
And they did. And so when the job came available, I got a phone call and just said, would you be interested in, applying for the, at that time, executive director position? I'm like, sure. And so it was an easy fit because I knew a lot of the interactions and I knew the members well. And so it was really an easy transition to, when
perfect fit.
It was a perfect fit.
What a dynamic duo,
I know.
might I say.
See that?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, okay, so for 30 years, so how long has the BWI Business Partnership been around?
Yes.
And then also for the viewers that don't know, can you just kind of explain, what it encompasses? What do you guys do?
Sure. So I'll take the first half, and Ronny, you can take the second half. But so we will be actually celebrating our 40th anniversary in, we kind of were formed around October, so it'd be October of 2025.
Excellent.
Congrats.
And so it was formed back in 1985. It's kind of an interesting history. It was kind of a few people, which are still kind of our charter directors today. Their names have changed because it used to be Westinghouse. Now it's Northrop Grumman. It used to be Dickinson and Hefner. Now it's Hefner and Weber. The airport is the same. NSA is still the same. The county is the same. But they all felt like it was very transportation focused. They knew the airport, they knew NSA Fort Meade were going to be economic drivers for the state, but it was hard to people were having trouble figuring out how to get to those areas and those jobs. And so that's kind of what the start was to where we are today, with over 200, member companies, which relates to about
nearly 1,000
or so
plus members.
Individuals of those companies. So
very good.
And so, Ronny, I'll let you kind of fill in a little bit more about the partnership.
And over the years, we evolved also to become more of a regional organization. So the territory has grown because everything come together around the district of what we originally were representing.
Sure.
So we cover Anne Arundel County, Howard County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Carroll. And
a little bit of Prince George's.
Well, maybe more. Well, we'll see where we headed next.
All right. You heard it here.
Yes,
as Gina mentioned,
we're taking over the world.
As a Transportation Management Association, we have other pillars that we focus on, which is the economic development, the workforce development, hospitality, tourism, and everything that make our region so successful. And,
So I first joined, I think it was, maybe 7 or 8 years ago originally. And, just looking for, where my timeline might be completely off because my memory's not there. But I remember hearing about the partnership, and it was first said to me that, this is a real somebody said to me, this is a real organization, make a big impact. You make sure you come to play. And I'm like, okay. It's like, so it's up here. I'm like, all right.
Thank you.
But you know what? It was an amazing experience for me the first time I was exposed to it. But your membership is very notable. I mean, there's big organizations, but what's also inspiring is it's also an approachable member base as well. And
Absolutely.
I think that was really kind of the thing that when I told Kaylee, here's something I kind of go do, and but I think you're better off at it. And so sure enough, she went, and obviously she's
I remember
she's
that.
been to a few meetings.
I remember that. It wasn't long after I started at Mojo, about 4 or 5 years ago. But I just remember I'm like, what groups should I attend? Where should I network? It's like, definitely the BWI Business Partnership, #1, hands down. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then that's how it started for me. So
Yeah, and I think that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have 10 events a year, big signature events a year, like from the breakfast side of things?
Yep, anywhere from 8 to 9, and then our annual meeting and awards. But we are excited for next year. We are planning our 40th anniversary, so that'll be a very special event. October of 25.
Let me know the date.
Yeah, and these are well-attended events, and so if you're a business leader out there looking to go, I mean, there's hundreds of people in attendance at your breakfast all the time, and not just the breakfast, the tours and the other experiences. Like actually, we had that great experience. I think all of us were at the airport. Not the BWI airport, but the other tour we got to
Tipton.
Yeah, Tipton.
Yes,
we got to look around.
Yes.
And, that was a fantastic event. But you have so much going on. This is really, if there's a leader out there looking to how to expand, BWI Business Partnership is it, right?
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we really do, based on our speakers and our topics for our events, we really do draw out that executive level, C-suite level attendee. And that really helps to be able to see them, whether it be a government official or a top CEO or, CFO, whatever that is, for our members to be able to, all kind of connect and really get to learn more about what's going on here locally. I think that's one of the things that we always tell our speakers that are for our keynote speakers for our breakfast is if you can share something before anybody before it really gets out there in the press, because we always want to hear. We want our members to say, guess what? We heard at the BWI Business Partnership breakfast this morning.
There you go.
And it's not in the news yet, And so, and most do have a little something they'll share that really hasn't been out there, so that, we want our members to, feel special that, like I said, you kind of got the news here first. So that's one of the things that we
And
try
Alex,
to do.
you mentioned our events, and we focus on one particular event, which is our signature breakfast event.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We don't have that many, but we rather have more specific to do that, particularly to give a platform for the CEO, the executives, the decision maker, a platform and a venue that they feel comfortable to come and network and meet other community and regional leader like them.
Right.
And the best testimonial for our success is to hearing from partners like you to share our story. That's what helped us continue to grow too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I kind of have a question. So the organization's been around 40 years, big changes coming up. So what is the vision right now for BWI Business Partnership?
So that's the exciting part, is that we're getting ready to go on the journey of strategic planning.
Okay, very good.
We actually, I've been at the helm there almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years
really?
in November.
Wow. Okay.
So, I'm still finding things in folders and, file cabinets. I'm like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And we recently pulled out a vision plan that was done prior to my leadership there. And we were reading it. I'm like, okay, right? Done that. Yep. Done that. Okay. We need a new plan, right? We worked this plan and we didn't even know it, because we didn't even find it until just recently. So we're looking forward to, putting out a proposal to work with a consultant to kind of help us and bring our board of directors into that planning as well.
Very good.
Because we really do want to figure out where we go from here. And so we're kind of excited about, and it's going to tie in kind of with the anniversary.
Okay.
And so more to come on that one. So.
And you heard it first.
And you heard it first here. That's right.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. I'm a diligent leader.
That's right.
You heard it here.
From the Mojo team. Yeah.
That's right.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, this one, I want you to talk about this one.
Yes.
You
So,
talk about that question.
I want to talk about some more of the events, right? But I also want to just talk about a recent initiative that I had the pleasure to volunteer at for the Summer Youth Initiative. So if you want to, I'll let you explain it, and then I'll talk about my experience.
But could you start with the why? Why did you do this? Like, what is this initiative so important?
So Kaylee, what you're referring to is the BWI Marshall Airport Summer Youth Initiative. This year was its 8th annual. And it actually was born from a former director there at the airport, to be honest with you, after the Freddie Gray incident in Baltimore. And he felt like we need to do something for Baltimore City youth to help them, lift them up, show them opportunities, that there are jobs, good jobs, that might not need a college education. And so that's kind of where the Summer Youth Initiative kind of was born. And it's come so far different from those first few years. Now it's actually held mainly at BWI Marshall, but CCBC has been involved now for, since I think at least, COVID's kind of messing me up there, but at least 3 or 4 years now. And then this year, Tipton Airport got to participate because Martin State Airport is under construction with a new runway, so it was not safe for kids to be there. But they really stepped up this year and filled that day with some great activities for the kids. And so Amazon was a partner as well this year, so the kids got to go to Prime Amazon Air facility, which is right on the tarmac. So the planes literally fly right up to the building, and they got to see how Amazon puts a smile on your doorstep for some people almost every day.
They can access to part that most employees, it's highly secured airport, obviously. But the kids get to be exposed to all the opportunities, and sometimes we say from the ground up, literally. From baggage handling to TSA to fire and rescue. It's like an entire city. If you think about the airport itself, there's even concessions and food. So they learn about all those opportunities, and they really firsthand get to experience it and kind of touch in a way. And you mentioned CCBC. They have flight simulators, so they get to experience that and to even fly a drone. And this year we went to Tipton, so they had a simulator there too. They got on the MedStar helicopter, which was pretty fascinating. And on Friday, Kaylee was one of our volunteers, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Kaylee.
And I know that Kaylee and I were very excited. We said we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I think I was more excited than the children. I don't know. It was so cool. Not only is it was outstanding that the airport and all of the partners and the Department of Transportation.
Take a city to make that happen.
A lot to make all of that a full week of activities. But it was outstanding to see what they could learn, what they could do, and it gives them ideas for the future and how to plan your future too, and what they could really become. And even, I already have my career, but I was just we were like kids. We were just having so much fun, learning all the new things and the behind the scenes that a lot of, even you were saying, a lot of the employees don't even get to see, which was
access to some of the places where they were taking. But the partnership play a significant role in this, and we're very grateful for BWI Marshall Airport that we are part of it.
Part of that, yes.
By doing the fundraising efforts in order to offset the costs so they can experience this. And they
at no cost.
At no cost.
It's free for the campers.
It's free for them. So they're being brought here every morning in a bus, very nice buses. They get full breakfast.
Delicious.
They get a T-shirt every day, right?
Lots of goodies.
I was so happy.
And then if you ask some of the kids, what's your favorite part of the week? The food, or some I won't name names, but a certain type of food, or from a certain place or something.
Right.
Like, besides the food, what did you like? It's funny, but it's interesting. We were talking to one of our sponsors, and at the Friday closing luncheon, and she had came up with a good question that I want to do this next year. She said, I was actually asking the kids what they've learned that they don't want to do. And it was interesting because she said she was in a group of a lot of young ladies. And all the, I would say, kind of the mathy, sciencey stuff, they're like, no, I'm not interested in that. And she said it was kind of just interesting to hear that it can also help you know what you might not want to do, right? That it might be
Very
helping
true.
to guide you what you want to do, but it also can say, well, you know what? Now that I know more about that, I don't think I want to do that. Maybe I look at this. So it was an interesting spin on it, on how she asked her group her questions. So I was like, that's interesting.
If I may just say in conclusion for that we really want to say thank you to all the sponsors and all the donors, even personal, private, that made the 8th annual 2024 Summer Youth Initiative a success. And also all the partners at the airport itself that really join new and old. They just say, hey, we're going to donate our time and be a part of it. So thank you.
And I don't know, I think you're allowed to share this, right? But how much did you raise for?
So I don't have the exact number, but I can tell you it was probably 21,000.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Fantastic.
The goal
And
was
some
20,
change.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
so we
I remember.
exceeded our goal. Yeah, so we have a
Yeah.
little fill the plane graphic.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And, I said, we
Very
have a
appropriate.
few seats left in first class at the top of the plane. And so we did fill the plane.
Okay.
But it's just helpful to, we're just so thankful for a lot of them are members, but not all of them are. And, we have some of the sponsors that have donated since the very first Summer Youth Initiative. And it's just
So even
super.
though we ended the 8th annual in July, and here we
We're
are now
already talking about next year.
next
so.
year and beginning our fundraising efforts in the spring.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important for the viewers who are watching in today to realize and take away. This is my perspective. You can call me crazy, but I think opportunities like this are fantastic because it's helping create that next generation of leaders, and it's our leaders finding ways to, well, how are we going to succeed? Because we have a generational change happening all the time, right? And so I think it's important not only just to do good and help people, and make donations and tax write-offs, right? But I think really to say, here's the next generation of leadership, right? We have an obligation to ourselves and our communities to. And I don't think it's always necessarily a task given to us, but I think it's something inherent in us that starts to change and evolve. And so I think that this opportunity you guys have put together kind of help fosters that. So
absolutely,
I think it's fantastic. But again, I don't know. That's just my view on it.
No, that's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of preparedness going into it, and a little stressful at times.
Sure,
I'm being honest. But then the week gets here. And it's fun, but I was tired. It's tough being a kid again.
You better get warmed up. If you have a grandchild,
I know.
You're going to have
The end result is what's important. When you see the kids on Monday morning when they start the week, and to meet them again on Friday at the end of the week, and to see the transformation and how they have completely changed, even in their attitude, and they're all together, they're energized, and that's made it's all worthwhile. So kudos to everyone at the airport also for all their hard work and make it a success.
Absolutely.
No, that's good.
All right. Well, let's move right along. I'd love to hear about the foundation, maybe its mission, how long it's been around, and kind of that aspect of the partnership.
So we, the full name is the BWI Community Development Foundation, but we also have legally a trade name, the Partnership Foundation. So we kind of just say that for short. It's a lot easier. It was founded back in 2008. It is a C3 designation. And it was founded because we wanted to try to take advantage of grant opportunities. And the partnership does not have a C3 designation. It's actually a C4. So it was kind of formed, and with, kind of having that community development focus, hence the name, right? But with that encompassing, whether it be getting people to jobs, transportation, whether it be, supporting economic community development, workforce development, hospitality, the military, we have lots of strategic focus areas for the mission, but it's kind of evolved. We currently have 2 local development council grants, which for the audience, that means when Maryland passed the slots rule here to allow slot machines, that each casino needs to provide a certain percentage of that revenue back to that local county or city. And then it has to be given to programs within a 3-mile radius of that said casino.
Okay.
So the local development council is the live casino and hotel, council for the most part, just to kind of explain all that. So one of those programs is our County Connector Shuttle. And last year we serviced close to 90,000 passengers.
Wow.
And so that was meant to help the workforce get to the key job centers at BWI Marshall Airport, at the Arundel Mills Live Casino and hotel stops with the MARC train at BWI. We added Matheson Way for the Amazon facility to help workers get to that facility as well, because there's about 1,000 workers at that location.
Is this a free shuttle? Or
It is free.
Okay.
It is
Very
free.
nice.
So it is underwritten by the grant. So we manage that. We work with the great contractor Dream Management. They're a minority firm in Baltimore, and we have a great relationship with them. So, we kind of manage that operation. And we have a beautification grant as well. So within a 3-mile radius, just for example, last year, besides some landscaping, the nice pretty medians with all the pretty flowers around them all, that's us, but it's our landscaper doing all the great work, right?
Sure.
But they also picked up 45 tons of trash in a year. And we have been averaging, over 40 tons since I've been here. Which is amazing, and as we say, it's the gift that keeps on giving. As soon as you pick it up, it's there again. But we're trying to do our part. We started a campaign called #DoNotLitter.
Okay.
And our grants and community development manager does a lot of exhibit tables and different things, working with kids, because I don't know about you guys, but, if your kid told you, hey, Dad, you're supposed to recycle that Coke can, not throw it in the trash, right? Kids are really good at kind of telling us parents, you shouldn't do that, right? What to do. So we thought, let's get it to the kids, and then hopefully, so we've started that, and we hope it does well. And this year we also have another beautification grant through a different funder, the Laurel Racecourse Impact Fund.
Oh, okay.
And so that's around the 6 ramps at 198, 295.
Sure.
And a little stretch of 198. So just a litter pickup for there. So we just got that ramped up. They just did some cleanup this past weekend. So, so those are kind of, what the foundation was for.
Right.
And a lot of people have asked, well, how does beautification really fit? Well, I'm going to tell you why. If you wanted to have your business, or if you wanted to live, or if you wanted to shop, work, play, right?
Sure.
The whole work, play thing. And it was not a clean and pleasing environment, would you really want your business being there?
Yeah,
Would you So it does fit within our, our preview of our mission. So, and, the foundation helps the dually enrolled kids at North County High School and Anne Arundel Community College. They have a transportation, logistics, and cargo security program. And so every year the foundation buys tickets for them to come to the Partnership's transportation-related signature breakfast. So the kids can kind of learn a little bit, kind of see the professional side of a breakfast and hear from a transportation leader. So the foundation gets involved in that as well.
So I have a question for you. So so the board, you guys are out there. You guys are collectively coming up with these ideas and initiatives, and it takes a lot of leadership, a lot of communication. How do you guys keep it in sync and on point? I mean, are there any guiding principles you and the board collectively, hold close to your heart, or just kind of curious, how do you keep it going?
Just to put things in perspective, when you talk about the partnership, it's
I thought you had an army of 100 people, because it runs like that.
And when you mentioned
really
the signature breakfast, where we see, depending on the time of the year, typically anywhere between 175 to 400 people attending it.
A lot of people.
So we plan ahead. Gina and I always in sync. We sit down and we know what we want to do 6 months from now.
Sure.
We have to play in advance, simply because it's just the two of us. Yes, we have 2 other employees in our staff.
But they have different responsibilities.
This is when you think and talk about the partnership, it's the Gina and Ronny, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you'll see either both of us in community events or one of us
We have to
representing.
divide and conquer.
And every time people see us, if they see Gina, it's like, where's Ronny? When they see me, where's Gina? It's like, it's always
It is
been
very
that
true.
way. But we communicate daily, even on our weekends sometimes, just because of making sure that we're not missing anything. And our goal is to make sure that we serve the community and our members first before we think about ourselves.
Well, I think, so there's a lot of people watching that they're a small organization making big impacts, or they're a small organization hoping to make a big impact, right? There's things going on. But I think what you two do is you show that good communication,
Correct.
Relationships.
Correct.
That collaboration is what's critical to growing an organization.
Absolutely.
Or maintaining an organization. I just don't see.
It's so funny. I'm smiling, Alex, because, we had our little note
I thought it was
here.
because you like my jacket.
It is nice. It's a very nice jacket. But it was funny. We just, had a couple notes just in case, to keep us on point or whatever.
Yeah.
And, we had the closing. Building relationships and collaboration, and that's why I was smiling. I'm like, so you have it.
I always believe that you lead by example. And Gina and I don't wear our titles.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
In the office, or even when we do an event, there were times where I needed to set up for an event, and Gina was like, I'm there with you. And we're like, the evening before setting up, because we're thinking about what experience you'll have.
Yeah.
Right.
And what is the best takeaway that you'll talk about afterwards.
Absolutely.
So it's never about the two of us.
Yeah, you always have the boots on the ground and you're running around doing everything and planning. Of
I'll
course,
get my steps done that morning. I can tell you that.
Well, I think, Alex, to your point, I personally have been a member for a long time.
Sure.
And so I've seen a lot of change just with that. And when I came on board, to lead the organization, I had some goals, and one of them was, I can tell you, way back in the beginning, I was maybe one of maybe 3 women in the room.
Okay.
And it was, and they would laugh and they would agree with me. It was a lot of old white guys in suits,
absolutely.
And so it was, me, Kay Hill from NSA. I mean, I think there was 3 of us, so it was easy to count, right? And it evolved. But when I became director, I was like, I just really want to make everybody feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody. Right?
Yeah.
And so I look back to photos, because we have some, from of the, the events of yesteryear.
Sure.
And I look now, and what a different picture it is.
Yeah.
We have young professionals like Kaylee. We have all different ethnic backgrounds. We have different types of industries.
Yeah.
And it's just, and everybody, when they come and are a guest, that the thing that warms my heart is like, I felt so welcome.
Yeah.
I nobody let me stand in a corner, and just stand there waiting to sit down for breakfast.
Yeah.
Everybody just open arm, so friendly. That's what I wanted. So I was, so I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
And, same with our board. I wanted to make our board a little more diverse. And it's it takes time sometimes, to make the changes. But I really feel like, we're definitely projecting in the right direction.
But,
so.
it reminds me, and I'm doing it again, but, what you guys are saying, and I hear you saying is, and it's important to me, is that overall experience, you want everybody to have this memorable, impactful
Absolutely.
experience that's built on a relationship. And, I always quote out Maya Angelou, who once said, people never remember what you said, they'll never remember what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Correct.
And that's what we hold personally on the Mojo side, but I see this, and I'm curious if you guys see this as well. I think we're in a generation now, an evolution in professional industries across the board, that we are more concerned about the experiences we're leaving with people, because I think there's a better awareness now, not just as respect for each other as people, but we're all doing a lot, so let's collaborate, let's bring the best minds in, let's but make it a great experience.
Exactly. And I think that's, the reason why the Young Professional Group, kind of came to be, our Women's Leadership Series, again, came to be, was let's bring those groups together and build everybody up, right?
Yeah.
And so we're happy that we've been able to do all these new things, in a very short time.
Would you say it was critical to your success, or was there other factors as well?
I think so. I mean, I think that, the partnership's been out there for a while, and I think that it did need a little refresh. And so I can tell you what the board told me on when they hired me, they're like, okay, Gina, your first thing is we don't want to be known as the Breakfast Club. Which
and what's the
I love that movie, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm like, I like that movie, but that's not what But because that's what the partnership did, signature breakfast. And so that was kind of a charge from them. And so in less than 2 months, we came up with our Transportation Think Tank series, which we call it T3 for short, kind of a play on public-private partnerships, the P3s, So I'm like, hey, we can be cute and make it a T3. And that, we got that off the ground after I was there a couple months. That's still going strong. Ronny came. I know we had our Young Professional Group. It was okay, but Ronny really has amped it up with a great committee and one of our co-chairs, Kaylee.
Thank you.
And, and then the Women Leadership Series kind of started right about February. We were ready to go February of 2020. Yeah. So we all know what happened to that. So it got put on the shelf, during 2020 because of COVID. We couldn't do in-person events. We pivoted really quickly to virtual.
We were the first.
We were the first,
the very first.
And,
to do that.
I remember that.
Host the event.
Yeah.
We did,
really?
yes. And to figure out how to do virtual networking.
That's
so we had some prominent other organizations calling us saying, how are you guys doing this? How are you doing it? I'm like, and to your point earlier, I could have said, well, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
What did I do? I said, you can come for free and be there, and then we'll show you how we're doing it. We'll tell you how we're doing it. Because let's face it, if we all, if one succeeds, we all succeed. And so there's no point in, trying to just kind of, nope, that's my secret.
Yeah.
It's not the way we operate. So, and then everybody else started, going from there, and we lived in that, virtual hell for a while.
Yeah.
But we were super excited, and once we got, we actually did do one virtual women's leadership with
which was very great.
Which was really good. You had to have a box of Kleenex beside your desk.
Oh boy!
Yeah, she was.
We had a fantastic speaker.
We had a fantastic
actually.
speaker, and but then, yay, we got to get back in person, and then it really started.
We were
to
the
ramp
first
up.
to do.
And we were the first.
Yes.
In person. So COVID taught us a lot also on how to maintain relationship and how to keep the organization breathing and relevant, because everyone else just fell through. Every organization had to cut back so much. And our biggest fear, and I came right in the midst of COVID. It's like August of 2020. It was a very leap of faith, but I knew Gina already from before. I knew the partnership, so it made it easier. But COVID taught us a lot about how to maintain our relevancy and how to keep our relationship also with the community going, so people know that someone still care about them, so they're not kind of forgotten.
And those grants that we talked about were still going because, the shuttle, although the casino was closed and, a lot of things were closed, it became then helping people get to, the Walmart or the Costco or, to get groceries and other things, other essentials during that time. So, those, yes, we reduced some of the hours back for a little bit, but, we were still running just normal stuff, even though the world wasn't normal, if you know what I mean, at that time. So
that's amazing. And I also want to say, so we have just a few minutes left. But I just want to say too, before you were talking about how you wanted to make everyone feel comfortable, that was something that I was going to mention. For you guys have done, both of you, a great job. Just making people feel comfortable, obviously making the partnership and the foundation a success. So great leaders, very comfortable. I know walking, and I see both of you as, my mentors as well. And Ronny has helped me with a lot, so thank you for that. So you're setting a good example. Thank you very much. I know that walking into the room, whether it's the signature breakfast or the women's leadership, at any scenario, or if someone wants to volunteer, you make it super easy, super comfortable, and you're always hardworking. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you
very
for
much.
being a great partner, especially with the young professional
Yes.
group.
You are so welcome. I love it. It's one of my favorite groups to be a part of. So
Thank you.
and as we're closing, I don't know if you want to share any upcoming events, anything coming up
Words
in the
of
fall,
wisdom for the business out there, anything?
or even advice for other aspiring leaders.
I'll start with the events.
or both.
We constantly we planned, as I mentioned before, we plan things way in advance. But I will suggest the best ways to follow us on our social media platforms.
Please.
So you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter that I do too. If you go to our website, thank you to Mojo.
Our new website.
We have to say, that was one of our mission actually
That's
a
right.
year ago to
We got it done.
update
That's great. That's
and
right.
have something that is more modernized. So thank you for working and making
Yes.
it beautiful.
It
So
is
actually, you
welcome.
can subscribe to our
Yeah.
newsletter on our
Yes.
website, and you can look at upcoming events. We
Right.
constantly monitoring market trends and looking for more speakers. So that will be your best bet is to see
And it's
and keep it as a
BWIPartner.org.
Very good. And we'll
Yes.
include it in the description.
Yes.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Little plug there.
Well, thank you, Gina.
Yeah.
Back to you in the studio. This is how we are regularly.
Yes,
just
I know.
so you know.
Yeah.
We can finish each other's sentences, and
Yeah.
Lee's like, "Oh my God, that's what I was
kinda
just going to
like
say."
us, too.
Yeah.
It's so
That's true.
funny.
Well, when you have a good, close, working relationship,
Yeah.
it's like you start to,
I
kind
know.
of think the whole
Exactly.
It's a
I
little
know. I'm
scary.
like, I already know the answer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. But no, thank you so much. We
Yeah.
appreciate this opportunity of kind of sharing a little bit about us, but about the partnership and our foundation and what we do, and as you kind of it concluded for us, we really do feel like it's about building those relationships and that collaboration that can help make it successful. I mean, I think about, all of our members and how I know things personally about them, right?
Right.
And how some of them had said, hey, I need to tell you something, but please don't tell anybody. It's, right
Yeah.
now. And so to me, it's working, right?
Sure.
Because people trust. And I think people want to do business with people that trust each other.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're trying to build.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing a pretty darn good job. I won't
Yeah.
cuss on the
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
so I will say
Good
thank
job.
you to all our members and
Yeah.
community
and our
partners and annual sponsors
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
continue to trust us and giving us the opportunity to do this. And for those of you that are not, then that's
come on.
opportunity to join
That's
our
right. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I definitely want to thank you both for coming. And, for all of you watching, it's been, Ronny and Gina are doing great work at the BWI Business Partnership. And they're really today, I think the takeaway is it's about the relationships we build through partnerships, right? And so thank you for sharing that,
Thank you.
how you build
Thank
your
you so much.
relationships and helping other leaders grow from that. So thanks
you.
so very much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe and continue to look out for more episodes coming from The Diligent Leader. Take care.